and studying in non-cellular cognizing. We'll argue its viability. Then we talk what advances, how we promote it, and what steps we did in this direction to argue non-cellular cognizing. Okay, so let's start from the first question: artificial intelligence. No, I asked our students what is artificial intelligence, and I see that it's a question also all around us talking about artificial intelligence, and any profession, any specialty now, like pricing and talking about this direction. But let's follow the definition and understanding of founder of computers and algorithms. Recall that computers and algorithms were invented last century in 1940s, yes? So the names Charles, Force, Turing, Markov, that is the founder of this direction, inventor of this direction. And they just, that was a computer, was the first step, and algorithms, the first step to pass human mental abilities to technical system. Because before that we had say ships, planes, no planes, yes, already we had planes and so, but mental abilities first time were passed to computer. And that was the beginning of passing or transferring our mental abilities to computer. And I have to say a little more strongly, not mental abilities in general, because mental abilities cover all our mentality, okay? That is including not only logical inference, not teaching, learning, prognostication, but include also many things that were transferred from have any livings. No, particularly they just say the words that come, first of all, we love, we can hate, we can say do something really what we starving our human being, but many things which are mental but not cognitive. Cognitive, because it's cognitive, that is understanding the world. It includes learning in different its dimensions, logical inference, prognostication, and if we can list all these abilities, they will be about 20. And for that, we always address to psychologists and psychiatrists, very professionally working in this area, and this list of them is known for a long time. So by understanding of this, our great inventors, artificial intelligence is a branch of sciences which provide an adequate constructive model of cognizing, at least comparable by effectiveness with one of humans. Cognizing. Okay, let's talk about each of these words a little bit more in details. So, about cognitive development or cognition, the most famous and known scientist which advanced and argued in this debate is Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget, he created theory of development, cognitive development of human from just innate, inborn steps to the highest one. So if we talking about intelligence and its development, first of all, we have to address two theories that already we have. Our direction on our work rely and ground on theory of Jean Piaget. And if we interpret what says Piaget, human cognizers are defined, and here's a definition, as realities over energizers. That is first, because any system or any reality or livings and our technical system first have to be energized. Second, it's talk about communication, or it had to collaborate with others, because human and any system without any heritage we have from other ones is a very poor. And the next one, thus these organizers have to learn and organize mental systems. What are they? Energizers, I told one, that is realities which are able to gain energy from any source which is available and preserve utilities which that already was embedded in this energizer. Particularly, it have to preserve itself. Okay. Now, mental systems we understand as ones which are responsible for our behavior, our doing. Okay, and mental systems, how we knew about them? We knew about them by our behavior, by doings, because they are covered. They are like black box inside of us. We know about it from our behavior, like different our doings. Here I listed some of them. That's inductive, deductive, imagining, intuitive, inferring, enhancement of effectiveness, self-prognosticate, and so. That is one line. When we reveal mental systems, yes, discover them, child starting from revealing, and each of us in childhood revealing, discovering, yes, by examples. That is, here I have to note that contemporary machine learning, when they say that actually address to this part of our learning by examples. Yes, we give the examples to machine, and they create some general concept about it. But recall that our learning, in majority of its essence, is acquisition. Let's analyze or address to our life from childhood to the moment when we become professionals and going to be involved in some community to work with. So 20 years, and students, you are one of them now, you learning the heritage, the knowledge that humankind already stored, accumulated, okay? So when we say learning, inductive learning and revelation, discovering is a small part. And again, it is very dependent from community, but the majority of our learning relates to acquisition. And that is very important for all of those who are interested in this direction. And I said Piaget not only provide theory about learning, about recognizing, but it argues experimentally. So it's very reliable theory, and who are interested, I very recommend the handbook of his work, that is Flavel's book, developmental Flavel's book on Piaget's work. Okay, who are interested, I can refer later. So first, we have a theory. We have argued what is recognizing. Then we have to recall that recognizing, as we know, first of all, relates to human, or we know as human recognizing. Yes, that is our advantage. And all humans, starting from newborns, they are cellular. They born as one cell, then develop, and that is our essence. And each of us is organization of cells in some way, yes. And there's a theory that each time these cells which construct or build our body some of them are dying, but they'll be replaced by their copies, by their clones. So we are in some way some phantom, despite we see each other. But all times these changes are going on inside of us. So the cellular structure is very important. The sequence or therefore, if we're talking about cognition and its origination, we have to address to how cells originated, because we know that cognition relates to cells, yes, and the livings. And to answer to it, the sound answer, we have to, if we questioning origination, we have to refer to origination of cellulars, okay? And this, actually, I said it. And we are very complex. We are organization of cells. So let's start from one unique cell and understand one cell, which actually involves in itself all the, say, major functions that any cells in nature. You know about cloning. So taking one clone, you know this experiment with sheep, yes? They took one clone, one cell, one sheep, and developing this or creating appropriate conditions, they get a clone of this sheep from one cell of this cell. And that is the reason each of our cell take or have inside of us all the genetic code, our genetic code. So genetic code is responsible or is a essence of our construction of our cell. Okay, so asking, questioning, cognizing, we have to understand unicells. And that is this question of what is the human and what is the universe, that is a mysterious question of humankind. All time, all religions, and in all steps, human ask the question, what is the universe? And what are we in there? And different ways, different religions answer to this question in their own way. But the question stays as a urgent. In this way, studying in this direction, universe is postulated. We don't ask where from it came universe. That is postulated, and physicists and all science accept it as a postulated. We are not able to go deeper and ask to understand where from come the universe. But origination in the universe, that is very actual question. And the direction, one very advanced, very intensively studied, is abiogenesis direction. Abiogenesis direction, actually the essence is, they say, you see, we are believe that all things is going on from, is coming on from nature. So we know how molecules, atoms appears. So let's imagine that in some way molecules, atom found in some way, they combined, they interacted, and we get some initial cells, unicells. After they evolutionarily developed, and after eventually we get what we have with livings. But this direction actually meet very big difficulties. No, Paul Dirac, Armenian physicist, Nobelian Prize winner, he says the opportunity or the chance that unicells will, in some its simplest way, will appear in the nature. He calculated and found that it is 10 in minus 100 power. You know, it is neglected probability. Actually, it says that it is not possible. Another very prominent scientist, biologist, Unin, he says, we can imagine many things that unicells have, but we cannot imagine how this genetic code appears and how genetic code reproduce ourselves, replicate ourselves. You know, computer is a so complicated system, but if you address to even one cell and it's working, how this program, our genetic code, actually it's analogous our programs, computer programs, and processor by itself, how it can appear in the nature, but it's much more complex than our computer. It's the same, even we say a little bit more softened way when we say computer can appear in nature by itself, or our satellites in some way, combination of molecules and something will appear. So the hypothesis of and many other, there are many other rejections of this way of appears of unicells. So in fact, this hypothesis has more hopes these days than achievements, although many scientists working in this way. And luckily, yes, here in argumentation that I mentioned Dirac, Kunin, there's even another argument. You see, our solar system is so tiny, tuned to each other, then even small changes, there's a physical constants, small changes bring to destroying all the systems. So solar system looks like it is also created by some forces outside. So it is not amazing or astonishing that many think that there was some creator. Religious and even many scientists believe that there was some creator, God, who created these unicells, because in nature, by chance, it is not appear. But then arising another question, but God, creator, so complex system, how it would appear in the universe? Okay, so one difficult question is reduced to much more difficult question, very well. And artificial intelligence and direction of cognitive studying creates new ideas about appearing, of cognizing, and living. Actually, there's a so-called hypothesis originable cognizing in nature. The sense it says that cognizing, like many other events or many other realities that we have in the universe, also may appear in the universe, then develop, say, particularly as Piaget describing, and actually come to the level when we now humans, we create robots, yes? So cognizing could appear in the nature, develop to some extent, say, equal or close to humans, even higher, and after create these cells. Okay, so it coincides the idea that we are created with one that is really, we can argue. And what are these arguments, this theory, this hypothesis? In what extent it is viable? In what extent we can believe? On what are our real facts that we can talk in artificial intelligence about this opportunity too? The first one, I said what in a sense says, yes, I tell them viability of hypothesis. First point, our cognitive systems, we know from technical systems that we have a learning system, we have inductive inference systems, logical inference, prognosticating, and so on. It appears that conceptually, all of them can be reduced to very small atoms. We are not small, but very elementary things, atoms. The construction can be reduced to these elementary units. And not only they by self can be reduced to these elementary things, but the means of their development algorithms, they also can be reduced to these elementary units. You see, long time, all the matter, yes, exists, and people think how this matter is constructed, where from. So eventually they came to the concept of atoms. And after physicists going deeper and find elementary particles and so. So something similar is going in this way. So our cognitive abilities, it appears, can be reduced to elementary units. And these elementary units are known to each of us classifiers. You see how we start our education, our life, and so on. We start with classifiers. Our parents, how teach us. This is a cat, this is a dog, this is a goat, this is a bird, this is sweet, and so, yes, we classify, now starting from classifying way in inductively. Then we have accumulate some knowledge. After then, we can step by step take more complex things. In some moment, we start to read and get, and I will say, acquisition of knowledge, and it is going long time, and our computer specialist is going long. Okay, so that is one first very important argument. Cognitive abilities are reduced to elementary atoms. 1, 2 place classified. Here I have to note, recall our language. Language reflects everything which we are doing. It is the most say, comprehensive reflection of our doing. And we communicate in languages. Take elementary, any sentence, any clause, elementary. It consists of subject, object, and relations between them, yes? What is a subject and object? That one place classifiers, yes? We classify. The book is on the table. Book, table, one place classified. Is a two-place relationship between them. So that's correlation again says that language, by the way, the time, no, I see someone have to restrain me. Okay, yeah, I see. As a moderator of this section, I have to ask how many presenters we have here. I know one, Surev Zolyan. Then I see, yes, Mariam and Setrak. And you actually, Eliza, but we have to have a guest from Iran. Is it here? Ah, you are. Okay, so all presenters are here. Great. Thank you. So the first, that is classified. Second, following theory of Piaget created theories how newborns can develop to the highest human level. So actually, we could formalize that. So we actually define Ostrovs, which mimicking our newborn's ability, and actually argued, or technically or scientifically, these octaves can develop to the highest level. So that is second argument. The next argument, these octaves of development, like the model of Newberg, they can also be reduced to elementary constituents. And these constituents can be studied independently. And because they are defined functionally, they have a much more abilities to be diversified by their construction than unicells, because their cell, we always have to adapt what is cell. Okay, because time is a little bit short, let me just tell the ideas, because in the proceedings you have all of you, you can just take more, and I will be glad to answer your questions or something. So what we did, we defined cognizers. Yes, I told already. This cognizer was reduced to elementary constituents. All constituents are very non-technical devices. And in technique and in computer sciences, they are known. They, what they include? They are sensors, say controllers. The language of the description of cognizers is primary or directly technical. So we have this cognizer. After that means that we appearance or origination of cognizer can reduce to origination of its constituents. The next we found that constituents of their function are very similar to one of constituents of biological unicells. So that give the idea, can we gain something from unicells? In the work we did this studying, we consider one by one constituents that by their functions are similar or equal to ones that we consider as a technical systems, and try to gain something from them. Unfortunately, it appears that these constituents, they are just declared that they are constituents. Each of them is very complex system that again have to be reduced to more elementary one. So the difficulties that come from abiogenesis, actually we couldn't avoid from them addressing to their constituents. So I'm just jumping, questioning or what direction is. In addition to unicells, we ask this 1 and 2 place classifiers can appear in the nature. In general, single classifiers are known to all of us. For example, atom is classifier. Atom of oxygen meets atom of водорода, and together they give a water. Okay, they recognize and give a water. But that is one single process. We need a recurrent process. This famous Nobel laureate Manfred Eigen give example of atomic recurrent systems, and that is one of the ways we can think. Another point is hypercycles, and so we can find. Another way is communication. Another very prominent professor, scientist, Bertolt Hupper from Schiller University, and his recent book, The Language of Living Matter, is arguing that living matter communicates, because genetic code to reproduce itself, it have to know molecular. Each communication have to suppose some understanding, some recognizing, identifying the correspondence, okay? And here, because that is again recurrent process, so this recurrency again can be taken as a weapon, and we did it. And next one, we again address, that is a dynamicity. Where from come dynamicity of cognizer? While they doing something, yes? Where from this ability? So again, in the work, we consider the roots and some direction, how this dynamicity can be argued. So actually, in conclusions, abiogenesis has more hopes than achievements. Second, the concept of God is not viable if it's only hypothesis which has no arguments. Artificial intelligence and this hypothesis give new realistic approach to this problems. It gives a new way of thinking how these unicells on living could appear and how cognizing originated. And it was actually argument by few positions I told already. And what we did, I again already mentioned. Decomposed recognizer to elementary constituents, self-replicate replication of macromolecules considered, dynamicity was studied, the algorithm of formation of 1-2 place classifiers was studied. So thank you. That's my report. Thank you very much. Despite I am a moderator too, I will ask a general question. If you have a question, I will answer with pleasure. But because time is short, maybe but any short question, I will ask students, is what understandable something or can we involve, huh? Or too complex? Huh? Silence means that we are down. Okay, that's really not easy to catch from the book, but I'm directly into. Okay, thank you very much. Let's start the second report, second presentation, and I introduce the pleasure, our second reporter, Sudan Kodar, professor, linguist, and she will continue actually the line in some dimensions I talked about communication and the roots of them. Yes, and who was the origin of this idea? Thank you very much. It's easier for me after this division to speak about my subject because we understand